a 15-year-old Amish boy, and his father visited the city for the very first time. They wandered around, marveling at the different sights. Eventually, they got to a mall. They were amazed by almost everything they saw, but they were especially amazed at two shiny silver walls that could move apart and then slide back together again. The boy asked, "What is this, father?" The father, never having seen an elevator before, responded, "Son, I have never seen anything like this in my life. I don't know what it is." While the boy and his father were watching with amazement, an old lady in a wheelchair rolled up to the moving walls and pressed a button. The walls opened, and the lady passed between them into a small room. The walls closed, and the boy and his father watched the small numbers above the walls light up sequentially. They continued to watch until it reached the last number, and then the numbers began to light in the reverse order. Finally, the walls opened again, and a gorgeous 24-year-old blonde woman stepped out. The father, not taking his eyes off the young woman, said quietly to his son, "Junior, go get your mother." A guy walks into a bar with his pet monkey. He orders a drink, and while he's drinking, the monkey jumps all around the place. The monkey grabs some olives off the bar and eats them, then grabs some sliced limes and eats them, then jumps onto the pool table, grabs one of the billiard balls, sticks it in his mouth, and to everyone's amazement, somehow swallows it whole. The bartender screams at the guy, "Did you see what your monkey just did?" The guy says, "No, what? He just ate the cue ball off my pool table whole." "Yep, that doesn't surprise me," replied the guy. "He eats everything in sight, the little bastard. Sorry, I'll pay for the cue ball and stuff." He finishes his drink, pays his bill, pays for the stuff the monkey ate, then leaves. 2 weeks later, he's in the bar again and has his monkey with him. He orders a drink, and the monkey starts running around the bar again. While the man is finishing his drink, the monkey finds a maraschino cherry on the bar. He grabs it, sticks it up his butt, pulls it out, and eats it. The bartender is disgusted. "Did you see what your monkey did now?" he asks. "No, what?" replies the guy. "Well, he stuck a maraschino cherry up his butt, pulled it out, and ate it," said the bartender. "Yep, that doesn't surprise me," replied the guy. "He still eats everything in sight, but ever since he swallowed that cue ball, he measures everything first." A man was driving along a country road when he looked out his window and saw a chicken was running alongside his car. The man checked his speed and saw he was going 30 miles per hour. He thought, "Am I crazy? Or is this chicken keeping pace with me at 30 miles per hour?" So he sped up to 40 miles per hour. To his surprise, the chicken kept running right next to his car. "This can't be right," the man thought. "No chicken can run this fast." So he sped up to 50 miles per hour. The chicken, amazingly, kept pace with his car. The man looked closely at the chicken, and he saw it had 3 legs. A 3-legged chicken running 50 miles per hour? Am I dreaming? How can this be real? So the man sped up to 60 miles per hour. The chicken also sped up, keeping pace with his car. Then, to the man's astonishment, the chicken passed his car, ran a few yards ahead, then suddenly turned hard left down another road without slowing down. The man hit the brakes and turned down the road to follow the chicken, but the chicken was out of sight. A little way down the road, the man saw a farmer out to get his mail. The man stopped next to the farmer and said, "Hey, did you just see a 3-legged chicken come tearing down this road at 60 miles per hour?" The farmer looked at the man and said, "Yup, I saw him. He was one of mine." "One of yours?" asked the man incredulously. "Yup," said the farmer. "You see, I raise 3-legged chickens. I like to eat the drumstick. My wife likes to eat the drumstick. And now our little boy likes to eat the drumstick. I got tired of us fighting over them and decided to use some selective breeding until I got 3-legged chickens." "What the heck? That's amazing," said the man. "So how do they taste?" "Well," said the farmer, "I don't know. I've never been able to catch one." 2 cannibals, a father and son, were elected by the tribe to go out and get something to eat. They walked deep into the jungle and waited by a path. Before long, along came a little old man. The son said, "Oh, Dad, there's one." "No," said the father, "there's not enough meat on that one to feed the dogs. We'll just wait." A little while later, along came this really fat woman. The son said, "Hey, Dad, she's plenty big enough." "No," the father said, "we'd all die of a heart attack from the fat in that one. We'll just wait." About an hour later comes an absolutely gorgeous woman. The son said, "Now there's nothing wrong with that one, Dad. Let's eat her." "No," said the father, "we'll not eat her either." "Why not?" asked the son. "Because we're going to take her back alive and eat your mother." A group of friends spent a weekend gambling in Las Vegas. One of the men on that trip won $100,000. He didn't want anyone to know about it, so he decided not to return with the others, but took a later plane home. Arriving back at 3 a.m., he immediately went out to the backyard of his house, dug a hole, and planted the money in it. The following morning, he walked outside and found only an empty hole. He noticed footsteps leading from the hole to the house next door, which was owned by a deaf mute. On the same street lived a professor who understood sign language and was a friend of the deaf man. Grabbing his pistol, the enraged man went to awaken the professor and dragged him to the deaf man's house. "You tell this guy that if he doesn't give me back my $100,000, I'm going to kill him," he screamed at the professor. The professor conveyed the message to his friend, and his friend replied in sign language. "I hid it in my backyard, underneath the cherry tree." The professor turned to the man with the gun and said, "He's not going to tell you. He said he'd rather die first." A couple were invited to a Halloween masquerade party. That night, the wife got a terrible headache and told her husband to go to the party alone. He, being a devoted husband, protested, but she argued and said she was going to take some aspirin and go to bed, and that he should go alone and enjoy himself. So he took his costume and away he went. The wife, after sleeping soundly for about an hour, woke without pain, and as it was still early, she decided to go to the party. As her husband didn't know what her costume was, she thought she would have some fun by watching her husband to see how he acted when she was not with him. So she joined the party and soon spotted her husband in his costume, cavorting around on the dance floor, dancing with every girl he could, copping a little kiss here and there. His wife went up to him, and being a rather seductive woman herself, he left his new partner high and dry and devoted his time to her instead. She let him go as far as he wished, naturally, since he was her husband. After a few more drinks, he finally whispered a little proposition in her ear, and she agreed. So off they went to one of the cars and had some fun in the back seat. Just before, unmasking at midnight, she slipped away, went home, put the costume away, and got into bed, wondering what kind of explanation he would make up for his outrageous behavior. She was sitting up reading when he came in, so she asked how his night was. "Oh, the same old thing. You know I never have a good time when you're not there." "Uh-huh," she said. "Did you dance much?" He replied, "To tell you the truth, I never even danced one dance. When I got there, I met Pete, Bill Brown, and some other guys. So we just went into the spare room and played poker all evening. But the guy who borrowed my costume said he had the time of his life." My friends, if you want to watch other funny jokes, subscribe to the channel.